Welcome back to Cards and Comics. My name is Jason, and we're going to talk about 1990 Leaf. This product is truly one of the most important products in the 90s, and I'll give you a lot of reasons. One, you got to look at the time period it was issued in. Upper Deck just upped the game in 1989 with the groundbreaking 89 Upper Deck set, which was the first set to truly utilize, let's say, brand new technologies, holograms. They got rid of the traditional wax packs. I mean, they did everything differently, and they charged more money for it, right? And they had a rookie card that people, everywhere wanted to own, the King Griffey Jr. rookie card, and that was a truly groundbreaking modernization of the hobby. However, you can see the reaction to that from manufacturers was pretty much, we don't know if this is going to be a thing. And so Topps just issued the 1990 Top set, which is one of the ugliest sets ever made. They didn't include all the top rookies. There was nothing innovative or cool about it. Donruss did start the whole elite insert craze in 1990 Donruss. So you can see Donruss is reacting, but Topps wasn't. Then Fleer and the other companies, that weren't that many at the time. Even Upper Deck in 1990 was kind of just treading water. Nothing really new and cool was coming out. The thing that makes this set even more puzzling at the time was, not only is it's hobby only. So as a kid, I was very used to being able to go to any store that sold cards, and a lot of them did. Even my, gas station I went to after school had cards, and I could buy a pack of Topps, I could buy a pack of Donruss, and this product wasn't there. It never was there in my area. In fact, it was only in retail, I think, in California. Very limited retail distribution. It was mostly hobby. So imagine my surprise towards the end of the year in 1990 when I went to my card store in Pryor, Oklahoma, and this is on the shelf. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, it's the new Leaf set, and it's really, really nice looking cards. And to me, that also was very odd because Leaf was just, to my knowledge, the Canadian version of Donruss. And in fact, it was just basically O-Pee-Chee, which was the Canadian version of Topps. So it was just a reprint set. It was just like it made the same cards, just with a different logo. So I really didn't care about it. And in fact, there was no 89 Leaf set ever made. So it was kind of a dormant brand, if you want to look at it that way. So the entire hobby surprised when Donruss resurrected Leaf as a high-end brand, made one of the best-looking card design sets of all time, and then actually had the best rookie cards from that year. You had Frank Thomas, Ben McDonald, Sammy Sosa, John Olerud, Marquise Grissom, Delino DeShields. A lot of really nice rookie cards in this product. Now, Series 1 doesn't have the Frank Thomas. I'll open the box of Series 2 at some point. Series 1 has the Nolan Ryan, which you can see on the front, the King Griffey Jr., the Olerud, the Sosa, the Grissom, the DeShields. So there's some cards to chase. The thing that's even funnier is that this is a 36 count box. I mean, this thing is massive. This thing weighs a ton. There's Yogi Berra puzzle inserts in here as well. So there's a lot of cards. There's 264 cards in the set. If you kind of play it out, I believe it's a 15 card pack as well. So it's, there's a lot of cards in here. So you're going to get, a chance at probably every card twice. So we'll open it up here, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, I know this set has come way down in value, but it's still a groundbreaking set. It's really made, I really think this set, just as much as 89 Upper Deck, made Topps change its game in 91 with a better design, and start looking at rookies in a more heavy fashion, which then we got 92 Bowman. So again, and I think 92 Bowman was completely a reaction to Donruss using Leaf as a set to do premium. They said, well, why don't we use Bowman as a premium and make it rookie based? And I think that was a great decision. But I think Leaf, this set here, really made the manufacturers really sit up and take notice. So there you go. These packs are one of my favorite design packs of all times. I'm thinking about even keeping one or two packs just to grade, just to have. They just look great. I mean, that is a nice looking pack of baseball cards. Again, 15 cards a pack. So again, you get like 540 cards in this whole box. It's just a ton of cards. We'll get right into it, and it's a lot of fun. And I think these are the products that made the hobby what it is today. You know, without this kind of a set existing, without people pushing the boundaries, you wouldn't have what we ended up having later on in the 90s. Innovation really started kicking off here as people said, what can we do with cards that's just different than what we've done before? I think it's even funnier was they foiled up the Yogi Berra set. So we'll see if we can pull a Yogi set. So here's 13, 14, and 15. All right. First card is Andy Van Slyke, which is pretty cool. Considering as a Pirate fan, that makes me happy. All right. Here we go. Greg Vaughn, that actually was a big rookie get at one time. Or at least I remember that to be a nice rookie card. Maybe, pretty sure it's a rookie card of Greg Vaughn. But he was a very good player for a long time. All right, Danny Tartable, early card of him. And I remember these cards it was very similar to 91 Stadium Club. 98 Leaf cards were so desired. I remember just having a good player was like a Sandberg. Like people would go to card shows and trade you or buy your just a Ryan Sandberg because it was like, oh, it's from the 90 Leaf set. Like the cards are so desirable, they were just so cool that it was like Stadium Club when it first came out in 91. Just having a Hall of Famer from the set, people would try to trade you or really go after you. It was like people really just wanted to have cards from the set, and they were hard to find. I will say that too. Like it was hard to find some of these cards as a kid because again, card shops weren't everywhere in Oklahoma, so I had like two to choose from. And I had no car, so it was like I was scooting over there every day. I got there. Whoa, there's an Nolan Ryan. There we go. That is cool. So, if these cards are nice enough, I might grade the Ryan or the Griffey. See if I can get me a 10 just to have one. But here we go. We got a Nolan Ryan right off the bat. Very cool. Put him in the old grade sleeve, just in case. It looks pretty well centered. The sleeve is like dusty. I've been cleaning in here. There you go. That is the Nolan Ryan. Yeah, that was a big card. I'm going to tell you. I would say that at some point that card was like $20. Like, people just wanted. There's a Mark McGwire. Very cool. But people really wanted that card because it was just right at that, Nolan Ryan craze. You got to remember, and people who don't know, don't remember the Nolan Ryan craze. The 93 finest refractor of Nolan Ryan is still the most expensive refractor in that set. Like, it's worth more than the Thomas and Griffey. Because that was like, the main dude at that time was Nolan Ryan, and that's the card everyone wanted, was the 93 finest Nolan Ryan. Over time, Griffey and those guys, obviously took off too, but, Nolan Ryan, and he still has a massive collector base. Massive. Okay. 53, 54. We'll see if we can put the puzzle together. I see Wade Boggs in the back. Maybe Weight Box fans watching this video. There you go. That's your boy. Von Hayes. So, yeah. Putting a set of this together. Again, like going to shows and buying sets like this. People would buy sets like this. I mean, this was a set that you could sell. If you had, you know, the 90 Leaf set in any form. There's Weight Box. Love that card. Again, the way that this set's made, it's just, you know, one of those designs that has stuck out through time. I know Leaf has come back and did the right thing, which is kind of rip this design off again, because why not? It's one of the greatest designs of all time. There you go. Kevin Seitzer. Again, this guy was a big rookie for a little bit. There's Alan Trammell, Tim Raines, 2 Hall of Famers there. Look at that. Greg Swindell. I always get confused of what pitchers were involved in that boat accident in Cleveland. I think Bob Ojeda was one of them. I know, like, I think one died. So, I mean, I remember there was like a couple players involved in that. And it's like when I open these early 90s cards, I see some of these Indians pitchers. I'm like, was he one of those guys that was involved in that wreck? It's been so long ago, I just don't remember that anymore. But that was a really terrible spring training accident. Yeah, like Bobby Ojeda. There's some other guys involved in that. But yeah, so whenever I hit some 90s Indians pitchers, I'm like, oh, hopefully it's not the guy who got killed in that wreck. All right, Michael Valier, Spanky, one of my favorite players when I was a kid growing up as a Pirate fan. So we're going to hit our first double. And again, I think we're going to start seeing some doubles. There's Tom Candiotti, the Candyman, who, by the way, was one of the very first super collectors featured in the SMR. He had a really huge collection. There's a Greg Maddux again. It's a cool card. And I'll go back through these. I am going to pull the Hall of Famers, and there's a Glavine. So, I mean, some really, really nice Braves pitching there. I'll pull the Hall of Famers and just put them aside. Like I said, I'm keeping most of the Hall of Famers and just, you know, cards that players people like. And, you know, put them in like a 25-cent box to go to card shows, because when I go to card shows, oh, there's 1, 2, and 3. Most people don't have anything from the 90s, and especially don't have just like boxes of, if you want some weed box cards, see a double, you know, it'd be fun to, you know, like, hey, it's Fred McGriff. Very cool. And a Harold Baines as a Ranger. It's kind of cool. Just to be able to go through boxes like that and pull out some, you know, cheapy 90s, you know, cards of players you really like, and you know, see them in the 25-cent and 50-cent boxes, and you know, that's my plan. And you know, create some just 90s boxes to take with me to card shows. And I think people will hit those, especially if I film, because I have like already like almost a 500 count box of just Griffey's, Thomas's, Jeters, Bonds, you know, the best of the best, Nolan Ryan, you know, those kind of guys. So pretty sure when I fill it out with the Maddoxes of the world, Cal Ripkins, people will want to come over and just, you know, hey, check it out. Maybe find some cards that you don't have, some nostalgia, but that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do with some of these cards I've been opening. I'm not building sets, so I'm not going to be, you know, oh, those are Barry Bonds. I forgot. Bonds is in Series 1 too. So that's cool. So I'm not building sets, so to speak. I'm really a little rough cut. I think the rough cut's fine. I don't think that really would hurt the grade. I'm not going to build sets. The only sets I'm building today are kind of rare insert sets. I'm not going to really build like a 19 leaf set. I had these sets actually at one point, and I had them all in my, in binders. And when I moved to New York, I I really went through a lot of them, and in all honesty, a lot of them were just junk, after so many moves, and they were damaged, and so I ended up throwing a lot of them away. Pulled some cards out that were still good, but in general, I just kind of threw them away. It wasn't worth, messing with, trying to replace the cards that were damaged, and the sets are just not really worth anything today, honestly. That's the kind of sad. That's one thing I don't like about modern collecting, is that the set collecting aspect's kind of gone away. As a kid, we would always, try to put a set together of a set we really liked. And that was kind of fun because, again, that was the cheap way of collecting. You would, like put together a 91 Stadium Club set. And you would do that by going and, card shows and going through the dealer boxes. And it was fun. It was like, I didn't have a lot of money, so I could do that. I couldn't buy, the real expensive vintage cards, which that was kind of like the big thing at the time. Eventually in the 90s, things did go more modern. You got to remember, like, those 80s rookies really helped. I don't think people realize how important the 80s rookies were to the 90s, because it really changed the dynamic from just, collecting sets and collecting vintage to, like, Strawberry and Gooden and Mattingly and Boggs and Sandberg and all those rookies from the 80s made people really hyper aware of them in the 90s. And then when people get kind of sick of just base rookies, and then you had the inserts, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, I can collect rare rookies and rare cards and not just have Julio Franco. I'm not sure that's a rookie. I think it's close. But it was just like you had options to collect that were just not, either you put a set together or you go back and try to, put more sets together from vintage. It was like you could collect rookies, you could collect inserts, you could collect sets, you could do all kinds of, really, I think helped the hobby in that, like 83 Tops is probably, there's a nice Robin Yount. 83 Tops is probably one of those sets that doesn't get enough credit. Oh, Bo Jackson. That's cool. Well, it's fun. I mean, this set's so cool. I mean, you just hit so many cards like Bo Jackson. That is so cool. But I don't think people get enough credit to. There's a Grissom rookie card. This dude was really, really good. Really good. He's on a lot of lists of, like, he had like 2,000 hits and 400 steals, and I mean, just some kind of crazy, like Jesse Orosca. I was like, is this one of the guys that was in that rack? But going back to those rookies, it's just like there's so many rookies in those sets that, 83 Tops, and you had those three kind of like big time Hall of Famers in one set. Gwen, Boggs, and Sandberg. It's like, it just made, I think it just made people hyper aware of rookies, but, it really, I think, drove the hobby really well. And then you follow that up in 84, and then you had the Donner set, which was, 84 Donners. I think just the progression, this is definitely a pack that's hard to open. The progression of, like, the 80s was really nice. I mean, you had, 84 or 83 Tops going to 84 Donners. And then you had, what happened in, with 85 with the McGuire and kind of like the Olympic cards. So it's just like you had a lot of things happening that people were just like very happy or could chase rookies in almost every year, and someone really big. Because in 86 you had Canseco, so Andre Dawson. So it's just like, there's a Chris Sabo. I got a buddy of mine who's a big Sabo collector. A lot of times I will save my Sabos and just send it to him. Now, Griffey is in Series 1. We haven't hit a Griffey yet. So I'm holding my breath, waiting for the Griffey. So there's another Biggio. So we've hit some cards twice. Like that's a second Maddox, second Biggio. So hopefully we can get 2 Griffeys out of this box. That would be really nice. But you got to hit 1 to get 2. Got to get 1 to get 2. All right. Here we go. Yeah, the checklist back in the day. We still had checklist. All right, Sid Fernandez. Get some different looking cards. Maybe this is the pack. I'm not sure if these were sequenced. So back in the day, you know, these guys would sequence packs and map out boxes. So someone in the comments tell me if you knew a sequence on 90 Leaf, where you open the first pack and you knew which packs to pull, you know, you would count down and be like, okay, you know, if we open pack 1 and upper left and it's got, you know, this sequence and 6 packs, you know, to the, you know, down to the right from it is going to be, you know, the Sosa rookie or the Griffey or whatever, or the Frank Thomas in Series 2. You know, those guys, you know, the people did that. I mean, it's, you know, I remember a guy telling me they did that in '84. And that's how a lot of people got their, you know, Gooden and Strawberry cards, because they could sequence those packs. You know, they could tell by the guy on front of the pack. You know, they get it because they would go, there's Albert Bell. This is his rookie card, by the way. And I gotta think that he's eventually going to get some Hall of Fame run. I don't know. I think it's cool though. That is Albert Bell rookie card. I forgot about Albert Bell. Joey Bell. There you go. I'm not sure if I'm going to sleeve him or not. This is a cool card. I mean, I probably will, just because I think it's one of those guys that is, you know, was so good for so, you know, had that, you know, time period where you could say that he was one of the best players in the game. So that's a cool card. We haven't hit a Sosa, which again, I think, fortunately, Sosa's sort of like become a hobby pariah to some extent after his playing days. I kind of feel bad for the guy because Robin Ventura, I love that card. I feel kind of bad for the guy because, you know, he obviously was doing everything he could to do what he was doing, but still, you know, people still, you know, McGuire's got a place in the game, and, you know, he doesn't. So there's a Paul Malter, Ricky Jordan, another Kevin Seitzer, Mike Marshall, and Alan Trammell. It's our second Trammell. So we've hit a lot of doubles. No Sosas, no Griffeys. Now, do I think this box was searched? No, I don't think at all, because the Nolan Ryan would have been one of the big targets. So we already hit one of those. I don't think anyone. I think this is a product that also, if it was Series 2 in the Frank Thomas, I would say, yeah, someone could have tried to do something back then, but I think this product wouldn't warrant it. Now, would someone remove all the Griffeys and keep everything else in there? I don't know. People do crazy things. I don't know. I just don't know if that would be what someone would do. I do like this fact, though, that this is one of those great products to open that was prior to everything having the really high gloss. And then the cards are sticky. This product is not sticky at all, which is a joy to open because, man, I just opened some like 97, 98 era score, and that is sticky. And the cards are cheap for one day. So it's like you're trying to open a pack of cards, and the cards themselves are kind of ugly and cheap, and you're trying not to, you know, damage the one insert that's maybe in the pack that you care about, but there's just sticky and hard to even get to that insert because everything is just so awful. There's a Matt Williams, so Armo Vizquel. So these are new cards, new players. So maybe we're getting down to a different sequence here. There's a Dennis Eckersley, Bruce Hurst, Roberto Kelly, All right. Bob Walk. He was one of my favorite Pirates. I used to love watching him pitch. He was just like, he was one of those guys that when he pitched, it was like at any moment it all could fall apart. But then he would go on and win like 10 or 12 games in that season. But it always felt like every game was on edge. Like, you know, like he was just barely getting anyone out. You know, it's just like, you know, he was one of those guys that barely had enough talent, but then he found a way to you know, get outs. And I think that's pretty cool. You know, it's like, it's one of those things where he was definitely someone who had well, now, like they said, there was a Leaf set header. I forgot about that. It talks about how in 48, you know, Leaf is, you know, worth so much money, and it had all these great players. And then, you know, to follow on the tradition of the early set, we are pleased to introduce the 1990 Leaf set, issued in 264 sets, you know, with prominent rookies, high-tech full puzzle of Yogi Berra. But it does talk about rookies. So the rookie inclusion was one of the things it knew it wanted to do. Buhner, Canseco. It wanted to seize upon that Ken Griffey Jr. I damaged his card over in the back. Robbing out. Sorry about that. It wanted to, you know, have rookies in this product because it knew what happened with that 89 set. It knew that, you know, like that was something that made that set, you know, if you take that new technology and then mirror it up with a hot rookie, that was, you know, magical. And so it wanted to do the same thing. And fortunately, it did have Frank Thomas. And Frank Thomas was a stud and still is. I mean, probably the second or third best player of the 90s. Depends on where you put Bonds. I mean, you know, I think counting numbers, he's number one. In terms of collectability, you know, Griffey is by far number one, but second Wade Boggs. But I will say that Frank Thomas is getting much more collectible. And our second, Nolan Ryan. Pretty cool. The competition for high-end Frank Thomas is tough. You know, you do have quite a bit of people now competing for the high-end Frank Thomas market. So I will say that Thomas is a strong, you know, he's in that Derek Jeter land of collecting. You know, he has a lot of people looking for his stuff. It doesn't bring Griffey numbers, but it definitely brings good numbers. And Jeter's odd sometimes. Jeter sometimes will bring massive numbers for certain cards, but then sometimes you can get, you know, like a Jeter card cheaper than a Frank Thomas card for the same like insert set or you know, a refractor or something. So Jeter collectors are a little bit more picky. There's another Bo Jackson. So cool. Another Marquise Grissom rookie card. All right. So the collation has been very, very odd. There's a Palmeiro, Matt Williams, an Omar. And so we haven't hit an Olerud, a Shields, the Sosa. You know, we hit the Joey Bell, which again, around this time period, if this was something, you know, repacked in the 90s, they would have pulled Joey Bell because he was pretty big until, you know, most of the way through the 90s. So, Hubie Brooks, Carlton Fisk, and again, those two Nolan Ryan cards would not have been left in there. People would have pulled those early because those are worth something. There's a third Nolan Ryan. Oh man, that's so funny. Nolan Ryan number 3. It's like one of those things where I almost want to send them all in to PSA to see if they'll 10 one of them. You know, I've heard, you know, my friends who were, you know, but who are dealers would tell me like, yeah, the best way to get a 9 or 10 on a card that's tough to get is send 3 or 4 of them. And then, you know, they'll look at the same card more than once. And if you have one in there, you know, is, you know, a lot nicer than the rest, you might get a better grade. And I'm thinking like, we could send these all in, but no, in PSA they'll just give them all 8s or something. I get a bunch of Nolan Ryan 8s coming back at me. That's cool. I mean, that's our 3rd Nolan Ryan. That's pretty awesome. He was definitely one of the cards I was hoping to get. So yeah. But right now, he's the only guy we're pulling out of the box. Let's see if we can get something else. There's Tim Raines again. So, again, we've hit a couple of Grissom rookie cards. Lance Johnson, Caminetti, McCaskill, Hatcher, Evans. So let's see if we can actually... Another Julio Franco. And I remember, I would pull any player worth anything from the set and put in a binder. And I did pull Julio Franco. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I pulled the Julio Franco cards and put them in my binder. There you go. I like that also that these they're not flipped. There's another McGuire. That the cards aren't flipped like modern cards. That is just one of those things that kind of irks me about opening modern packs, is how everything is just flipped over and frontwards, backwards, sideways. It just feels like you're constantly putting those cards back in order. All right. So, pack was really, really hard to open. Let's see what we get in here. There's another Bonds. So 2 Bonds and 3 Nolan Ryans. All right. Well, it will be pretty disappointing if we don't get anything other than Bonds and Nolan Ryan in this box. We'll see what we end up with here. And during the craze of '98, when a box like this, and again, look at that heat seal on that pack. You could say, well, was that resealed or not? You see something like that? I don't know. I just don't know. Not open enough of this to really know that someone, trying to reseal it, or that's just how they came originally. But the card people would have been targeting in this series one would have been Sosa, right? Because again, 98 Sosa was the dude, along with McGuire. So if someone was to reopen these, and they would have pulled the Sosas and Griffeys, probably, if I was going to guess. Probably left everything else in there. Oh, it's a pack flip. Oh, that's our first Ripken. There you go. So it's the first time we've seen him. So that's, that's a new card. That's cool. Will Clark, Dave Allen, the Ricky Henderson. There's a Tony Gwynn. All right, it's Ozzie Smith. So okay, we hit a lot of. That was like the first. It's like all of a sudden we hit a bunch of cards that we hadn't seen in a long time. All right, so. All right, well, in the really weird pack, I looked on the back, and it had a lot of cards we hadn't seen yet. That's just kind of cool. All right, another McGuire around the front. So that's nice. And we get any of the other cool cards in here. Or are we going to get skunked on anything that's not Nolan Ryan or Barry Bonds? But again, we got a lot of nice Hall of Famers right here. Tony Gwynn, Ozzie, Ricky and a Ripken. So that's pretty cool. I've opened the dumbest box I ever bought and opened was an 85 Topps box. I bought it at a card shop in Indianapolis, and I mean, it was right around that 99, 98, 99 time period, and you know, the guy had it for some, you know, like, you know, a couple $100, which, you know, at the time those things were blowing up. And yeah, I should know better. That it was one of those really bad repacks where there's another Albert Bell. It was one of those really bad repacks. Just, you know, as soon as, you know, I mean, the cards were damaged, just, you know, like it was bad. And of course, but it was like one of those repacks where you don't get anything in the entire box. Like they pull like every Hall of Famer, like you don't get anything. And so it was, you know, there's a Biggio. It's like a third or fourth Biggio. Another Maddox, another Glavine, another header card. McGriff, Baines, Mitchell, Buhner, Canseco. Where it's like if it was listed as a minor star, they were pulling it, you know. So yeah, it was definitely not fun to realize by pack 7 or 8. There's another Biggio that you were tooken, as we would say. Basically the same pack we just had. So I mean, correlation here, definitely you start seeing some familiar patterns. There's the Griffey. There's Griffey. It's a little off center. It's a little disappointing that it's off center. But there's Griffey. So again, I don't think this is a resealed box. I just think it's one of those hard to you know, just bad collation. Because you saw where we got the same exact pack multiple times. You know, the same, you know, order. And I don't think someone collating or would have done that on purpose just to confuse people. But there's our Griffey. So look at that. We've started to hit some of the good. I mean, I think that's all pretty cool. So let's see what else we got. Because we got a Walt Weiss. Again, these are all probably from a new part of the sheet. Probably getting down to that. There we go. So there's the Griffey. A little off center. Not the Nolan Ryans we hit are pretty darn centered. So let's hope we hit another Griffey and maybe we can get one that's centered. All right, another Ventura. Mark Langston, Randy Myers, Mike Greenwell. Wasn't Greenwell close to the Griffey? Mark Grace. Nope, there's a Ripken. Jeff Blauser, George Bell, Michelle, Clark. So another Ricky Henderson, another Tony Gwynn. So I got to go back and pull the Hall of Famers, but I know I'm going to pull those kind of guys anyway. So I'll just keep them out anyway, just to not have to search for them again. Ricky sells really well. I don't have a hard time selling nice Ricky Henderson cards. Same way for Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson cards just always have some demand. Vince Coleman, Jose Lean, Robin Yount, Charlie Hayes. Another Bo Jackson. I'll throw him down here. That's like the third Jackson we've had. Another Marquise Grissom. I'm not sure if I'll pull him yet or not. I mean, it's a rookie card, but you know, he's never going to make the Hall of Fame, even though he's got some pretty good counting stats like I was talking about earlier. Pretty good counting stats. He just isn't a generation that was super overachievers. His contemporaries were all really good. Gary Reedus, Billy Spires, Lenny Dykstra. There's a Darryl Strawberry. It's the first Strawberry we've seen. Zane Smith. I remember when the Pirates traded for this guy. He actually really helped them. There's Sammy Sosa. There we go. Awesome. There we go. That's one of the guys you were looking for. So again, it's kind of like confirms that no, this is not a, but that back of that pack looked pretty awful. Like whoever heat sealed that thing, like, I don't know, they left it in the machine for like an hour or something. I don't know. That looked bad. There we go. We made our little pile of cards there. And then there is another card of a player I really like, because this guy, Johnny Ray, grew up near where I grew up in Oklahoma. In fact, you can see it right on the back. Shoto, Oklahoma, which is almost like just one town away from where I grew up. So I actually collect Johnny Ray cards to some extent. Not a ton, but, I do have some graded Johnny Ray, especially his rookie card, 82 tops. I definitely like me some Johnny Ray cards, especially, some, I guess, harder ones, but, he went to Japan to end up his career, after he's with the Angels for a little bit. Started with the Pirates, remember? He was a Pirate, and then he went to the Angels. And then he went to Japan and made more money, and can't blame the guy. I think it's the first Alomar, first Mattingly. I don't want the Alomar, but definitely want the Mattingly. And Kirby Puckett. So that's the first time we've seen those guys too. So again, look at the back of that pack. That is like super mangled. Like, holy crap. You wonder why I'm struggling trying to open these packs. These things are mangled. And I don't think a resealer, I think this is just Donruss being Donruss. The card companies were like this. I've opened like Topps products from this time period where, they were just, awful trying to open. I remember that 78, I think it was 78 Topps box break that Jabs did, where he got one of those boxes where it was only like one sheet. Yeah. The cards all came from like one sheet. That's an interesting pack. There's no puzzle piece in that one. So, yeah, that's interesting. So again, if you thought this was something that someone was messing with, right? There's George Brett right there, which is a great card. That would have been like, yeah, that pack looked really messed with, and but then we just pulled the Sosa rookie. So yeah, I just think it was just, what it was like in the day to open these kind of products. Because again, why would they leave at the time the best rookie in the set? And there is another puzzle piece. Stay tuned. We'll see if we got the full puzzle. I know everyone is on the edge of the seats. But yeah, this is definitely, again, if I was, for one thing, this is not an expensive product anymore. So like, again, when I open my Series 2 box, I probably would be much more freaking out, honestly, if we didn't hit the Frank Thomas until like, pack 30 in the box, and the back of the packs look like they've been resealed with an iron and it's missing puzzle pieces. I would have been like, okay, something's wrong. I want my money back. But I think this is not a reseal job. I just think it's because we've hit basically everything but some of the minor rookies, right? We've literally hit Sosa, multiple Nolan Ryans, multiple Bonds, Sosa, Griffey. So like we've hit everything that you really probably want to hit. Obviously some of the minor rookie cards today aren't as big a deal. But again, another George Brett, got 2 packs in a row. I just think that's how these packs and products were opened. And I don't think we could put a set together. When I do my box 2, when I do a Series 2, I might tell you do an update to see how close I got to the set, Because in theory, I should have got every card at least twice. But I'm not sure I'm going to have a full set because I feel like I'm missing. There's Ben McDonald. That's an extra rookie. There's Olerud. So again, we're now hitting some of the cards in Cavilla that were, we talked about earlier in the video, which were rookies. We're hitting them now. Literally last packs in the box, like second to last pack in the box. So it's been a kind of a up and down ride. I mean, at some point, the product just looked weird, opening it up, the weird looking back seals, that one pack missing a puzzle piece. But I mean, we've hit basically the entire everything in the product, so I don't think I know that this isn't something that's been tampered with, but it shows you how easy it is to think in this modern era, like everything is messed with, even something like this. And I wouldn't put it past someone to mess with something like this. That is such a weird card. Gary Carter as a Giant. Like, that just blows my mind. I didn't even realize that was a... Fred Lynn was still playing. I mean, my God, his rookie card's 75. I mean, okay, yes, 15 years. Not terrible, but still, it's like seeing a guy like that just pop up, Like, this is literally a lot of players, were just ending their careers and beginning right here, and so it's kind of cool. So we'll do a recap, but and then we'll see if you can stick around if you want to see I got the full puzzle. But again, we pulled it, I didn't put everything in a sleeve. But we hit multiple Joey Bells. We got the Olerud rookie, the Ben McDonald rookie, multiple Marquise Grissams. I didn't see any Delano to Shield cards, but maybe I just missed them. Some Bretts, Ozzy. Sorry, everything on camera. Some Pucketts, manually. There's some Jacksons. I don't have all the Jacksons. I think I pulled 3 or 4 Jacksons. Some Ricky Hendersons, Cal Ripken. There's another Joey Bell. Ozzie Smith, Tony Gwynn, Ricky Henderson, another Ripken. So all the Hall of Famers multiple times for the most part. And then kind of the bigger hits or the for this kind of product. Because again, this used to be a big hit, but there's the Sammy Sosa rookie. So we got one in the whole box, and it's a little off center. We got one Griffey, and it was a little off center as well. But we hit the Griffey, so okay. We hit multiple Nolan Ryans, so we hit 3 Nolan Ryans. And all the Nolan Ryans are pretty well centered. In fact, this one looks to be almost dead on. This one may be a little off top to bottom. Again, this one's off a little bit left to right. But again, all pretty well centered. I mean, compared to the Griffey and the Sosa, I mean, the Griffey is, way off left to right. The Sosa, again, centered about like the Griffey. And again, these two came later in the box. So I feel like we hit like a different sheet or like, I don't know, the collation flipped. And then there's 2 bonds. They're both centered about the same, left to right, like 60-40. So not perfect, but 2 bonds cards. And again, I might grade some of these cards just to see what I get. Because I love the set. I mean, I might send the Nolan Ryans in just to see what I have. And I would send the Griffey in if it was centered better, but I probably won't send them on that off center. So let's see if we get the puzzle. Like, did we get all the puzzle pieces? All right, so we got the big stack of puzzles. And for anyone who's opened Donruss, this is always one of the most... Like, I remember as a kid, I built the puzzles every time. I'd open a box, and I know modern guys just throw this stuff away. So there's 1, 2, and 3. All right. There's 4, 5, and 6. So we'll already getting kind of in order. And the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to there's 40s, there's 30s, there's 20s, there's teens, there's 50s. Oh my gosh. There's 20s. We'll see if there's a teen. There's a 40. There's a teen. There's a 60. I don't know how many pieces are in here. It's like one of those, things where you would be like 1 piece away. You'd have 40 of one piece, and then you would be missing just the one piece that you needed, and it was so frustrating. 40, 60, 50, 30, 50. That's the teens. 40, 20. So 1, 2, 3, 30, 30, 50, 60 teens. All right. All right. There's 1, 2, 3. There is 4, 5, 6. There is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're good so far. There's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We're missing 19. Maybe we have it over here. Hold on. Let's not give up yet. Maybe we have 19, 20, 21. Hold on. Let's see what we got. Oh, there it is. 19, 20, 21. We got it. All right. So we need now 22, 23 right here. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So we're good so far. All right, guys. We're almost got a full puzzle here. So we need 31. Yep, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. All right. Ooh, this is suspenseful. Here we go. We're gonna get 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48. All right. We need 49, 50, 51. All right. Do we have it? There's 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57. We need 58, 59, and 60. There it is, 58, 59, 60. 61, 62, 63. Is that it? Is that it? It is. We got it. We had the whole puzzle. We did it. Oh, man. It was close. We almost didn't have it. 63 pieces. We have the Yogi puzzle. All right, guys. We're going to build a Yogi puzzle. Here we go. Can we do it? So it's going to look like this. Can I get it on camera? It should. I'm trying to, like, you know, make it look kind of like it would have. Without tearing all the pieces out. But yeah, it's going to look kind of like this. There we go. We're running out of room. But that's sort of what he looks like. There you go. So I'll take a little downward angle. There is the Yogi puzzle. I don't have the last three pieces, but there you go. That's what it kind of looks like. Give you an idea of what the Yogi puzzle would have looked like if you had built it as a kid out of pack of 90 leaf. So it's a long video. Hopefully you stayed to the end. Most of you probably didn't, but you missed out on the Yogi puzzle. That was probably the most important thing. It was a lot of fun. 90 leaf is probably one of the top 5 sets just because of its importance to the industry, to the hobby, sets made in the 90s. And stay tuned. We'll be doing series 2, and we'll be looking for the Frank Thomas rookie, which would be the bigger chase of anything we just opened. So hopefully you liked it, and I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.